Good morning. I guess it's 10 o'clock. It's not quite morning anymore. I stayed up late playing Animal Crossing. I blame my niece. On Christmas, we spent the day with them, and we play Animal Crossing together, and I logged into my account. I had not played it for a year and 6 months. All my villagers are like, where the heck have you been? Working. I've been working. So anyway, as I work in my laptop is like a bad glare. I haven't worn my contacts forever. I love these new glasses. Anyway, when I'm working, I like to watch YouTube. Lately, I've been getting into TikTok. Shorter attention span, like short videos, whatever. I know, TikTok's the devil, whatever. But, so right now, the craze on TikTok is the Ultimate World Cruise. So in the beginning of December, Royal Caribbean launched a cruise ship that is cruising for 9 months. So there are 700 passengers on this ship that will be on it for 9. Anyway, they're on like day 17, 18, whatever. I've been watching from the very beginning, and there was like 4 or 5 groups that I started following on TikTok. And then, so they're running around the ship taking tons of like, influencer worthy videos, and people are like, what are you doing? And they're like, we're doing TikToks. Everyone loves us on TikTok. And so half the ship decided, I'm going to post on TikTok. So right now, way too many people on this ship are posting. I'm only watching the original 4 or 5 that I started following, because not only does half the ship decided they're now TikTokers, but there's catfishers out there. I didn't even know this was a thing. So catfishing, I don't know what it's called. I'm calling it catfishing. So people sitting at home are stealing videos from past cruises, other cruises, and posting it and voiceover and acting like they're on the ship right now, trying to get views because everybody's like fascinated with what's going on this ship right now, because it's like live, what do you call it, reality. So it's currently like the best reality show without producers ruining it, because if you've watched any reality shows, eventually the producers force storylines and just ruin the whole show. So, and then the other thing that's fascinating is people are like, how do people afford to be on this ship for 9 months? So it's all they had to pay it ahead of time. And, but look, there's so much to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it. So this ship, Royal Caribbean, holds like 2,100 people. And when they first started advertising this 2 years ago, they wanted it to be all 9-monthers, but they could only get 700 people to do the 9 months. And so as it got closer to the selling date, they broke it down into like 4 different like quarters. Like, so there's people that are on it for 3 months, depending on like the hemisphere. And then they broke it even further down. There's 14 different segments for like 2 weeks. So you got your original 700, and then you have people that are going to be coming and going every 3 months and every 2 weeks, because they needed to fill the ship to make it financially worthwhile. So I didn't really deep dive into the financial, like the actual true cost, because I don't care. I'm not on the ship. But I've heard it's between anywhere from like 20,000 to over 100,000, depending on your room, because there's some rooms like with no windows in the middle of the ship. So I'm sure those are like 20,000. And then you got balcony and windows, whatever. So how are people affording it? They're not. Really, their parents are paying for it. So the people that I watch, there's 2 college-age sisters. They're traveling with their parents. The parents have their own room. The parents are paying for the 2 college-age sisters. And there are 2 women in their 30s also traveling with their parents. I don't know that their parents paid their whole trip, but they definitely helped them out. So that's a second group that are traveling with their parents. And then there is a woman my age that I really, really like. She's traveling with her brother, her sister-in-law, and their 2 kids. She has her own room, so she's essentially a solo traveler. And her brother and nieces and our nephews are in a separate room. It was paid for an inheritance because their parents died, unfortunately. Very sad. It is very sad. I know I sound terrible, but I've dealt with a lot of death this year too. So their parents died, left the money, and her story is like the best reality. I feel bad for her. Like, she has cancer scares, and so she's like, you only live once. What's the point of having like a retirement when most likely she ain't gonna live past 60? And I kind of agree with her, because my husband had cancer, and his dad died younger from cancer, and one of his brothers died this year of cancer. So even before all these deaths, we've always been like, you don't live forever, so live in the now. And remember, he's a widow. His first wife died of cancer. So I can understand her perspective about, yes, we are saving for retirement, don't get me wrong, but we also do a lot more, because we know don't wait until you retire, because it might not happen. And then I'm watching one more couple. It's a lady in her mid-20s, I think she's 26, with her husband, and they have a nice room with a balcony, and her parents also have a nice room with a balcony. Her parents are paying for the trip. Her mother was an actress on Real Housewives of South Africa. I didn't even know it was a thing. I quit watching Real Housewives like 10 years ago. So again, that's another couple that the trip is paid for by their parents. And then the mother's like, oh, my daughter's TikTok is doing so well, I'm going to create a TikTok too. I tried watching her. The mother's okay, but the daughter's much better. And then, so what's that, like 3 or 4 groups? And there's more groups, but these are the ones I like the best so far. But this is what I do when I'm working, listening to these crazy people on this cruise ship, eating all kinds of food. You know what? I say they're eating all kinds of food, but this is the sad part. If you find someone on that cruise ship that does not care about their weight, let me know. Because these people that I'm watching, they're showing the food, but then they're like, oh, well, I have to eat healthy. Like the South African married lady, so she's showing like the Christmas buffet, and it was amazing, and there's like Christmas cake and all these pastries, and she's like, but I eat healthy, and here, so let me eat my chicken breast and broccoli. And I'm like, all that food, and she had a chicken breast and broccoli. And then the other couple, and then the 2 college-age girls, they're skinny as can be, so they're the same thing. They're like, half the time they're in the gym. So someone tell me, who's the cruiser that is eating all the food and has never seen the gym? That's the person I want to follow. That's who I need. Someone who would eat chocolate-covered cherries for breakfast. I need to know who that person is.